And what's up, everybody? Welcome to TYPHOONS TV. I'm your host, Fantasy Typhoon, aka the Mentalist, aka your favorite analyst, aka the legend, as you can hear from the intro of the podcast. Trying something new here. TYPHOONS TV, trying to stream this along with um, Periscope, trying something new now. I'm 4K, so I'm trying to reach new heights, new audiences. Of course, we are always trying to evolve, trying to get better, trying to get better. Now, I know I've been away, I've been off, life happens sometimes, folks. I just got to take care of my life. You know what I mean? I just got to take care of life. Now I'm selling back in, selling back down, and I'm able to do, this that I love, giving you something to the fantasy community. I'm giving you my insights. I'm giving you my recommendations. I'm letting you in. I'm being transparent, pulling back the curtain of the mind of the fantasy typhoon, trying to let you guys in, just come on in and have a seat with me. Come on in and have a seat with the fantasy typhoon. And look, I'm asking if I'm full disclosure. If you like what you hear here today, follow me on Twitter, Fantasy Typhoon. Google being the Fantasy Typhoon, or I would mainly like if you would subscribe, maybe comment. That's all I'm asking. Kind of like what you hear. You would like to hear more. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, TYPHOONS TV. And let's take off. Now, like I said, I had to get away, and within getting away, I had to kind of leave some projects just unfinished. I just had to boom, had to leave them under construction. Trying to get the website back up. I don't know. I might take an offer. I'm entertaining offers from other sites right now. If you're looking for a number one top analyst, a legend. You hear me? A legend. Fantasy Typhoon here. Reach out to me, the Fantasy Typhoon at hotmail.com. I'm open. I'm listening to offers from other sites. I was getting a lot of offers, a little bit ago. But hey, life was just. Now I kind of moved some of the things of life just in time for fantasy football, just in time for me to bless you with these nuggets that I'm about to bring to you. But look down in the description as you will see the unfinished. I have to say this: the unfinished, the unedited draft kit to last year. This time last year when I was about to release my draft kit, telling you Christian McCaffrey. I was on all of it, and if you, I'll leave the unedited version. I'll leave a link to it, so you just click on it and just kind of take a look at my work. That's my resume for you guys. If you're looking to hire analysts at one of your sites, that's my resume of how I do business. I take it serious. I'm take it serious when I make these recommendations to my peeps out there. Now, with that being said, let's get on to it. Now, one of the things I'm seeing, and I get to Andrew Luck in a minute, but what I'm seeing right now is just so huge. I just got to kind of lead off with it. Is Antonio Brown? My God, what did he forget how to play football? I'm stumped. Antonio Brown in the third round, folks. You're fading Antonio Brown over a helmet. I can't grab. Okay, now if you fading Antonio Brown because he lost speed, you're fading Antonio Brown because he can't catch anymore, you're fading Antonio Brown because some kind of physical attribute or decline as far as physical. All right, I get that. If that's your reasoning, like it says, come sit down and reason with me. And if that's your reasoning behind fading Antonio Brown, fade it. No problem with it. I respect it. I respect your fading. I respect it. But if you fading Antonio Brown over a helmet, over a diva, that's what you want. You're looking for your, especially your wide receivers. You're looking for them to say, "Hey man, give me the ball." You're looking for them to knock over the Gatorade. I want the ball. That's what you want. And you're fading him? He's giving you what you want. And why? Because he has all the leverage. Antonio Brown got all the leverage. He's guaranteed money. You can't cut him. You just drafted him. You cannot cut him. You gotta give him the ball. He's got you. He's got you. He's got you. And you're fading him. Look how he controls the organization. He controls Gruden. But now I can make Mike Mayock some respect. Mike Mayock just went to the media voluntarily. The media was over there chilling under the little, tent. Mike Mayock went over there and said, "Hey, bottom line," Mike Mayock went over there and made his statement and showed that he was frustrated. Antonio Brown, all right, I hear you. He's like a little kid just trying to see how much he can get away with until you reel him in and you hadn't heard a word out of him. Ever since he said, "Look, man, are you in or not? We need to know." Simple as that. But if you look at Hard Knocks, you kind of see how Gruden is catering to him. And, if you look at it, Antonio Brown decides when he wants to play, or as far as if he's playing in a preseason game. He's not asking Gruden. Antonio Brown is in charge. Antonio Brown is like, "I'm not practicing today. Matter of fact, I'm leaving the facility. I'm out." Don't even tell him where he's going from the way it looks. It looks like he's not even telling him where he's going. "I'm out. I'll catch y'all later. I'll see you tomorrow, maybe." He's in total control of this situation. And Gruden is the offensive coordinator, and the head coach. It's the same person. Can you see how much Gruden is just chomping at the bits to get this guy on the field? Do you realize the plethora, the astronomical amount of plays that they have designed for Antonio Brown? Slants, fades, drags, comebacks, go, post, corner post, outs, screens, jet sweeps. Everything is there for Antonio Brown. He's the best player on the team, and you fading him like he forgot. And I can see if, like I said, if he's declined, fade him. Yeah, fade him. Nah, Antonio Brown, nah. He's in the third round. Are you insane? That's what I'm here for, to shake you. Hey, wake up. It's not even a hot take. Antonio Brown is going to receive the most targets in the NFL this year. That's not even a hot take. But, it is what it is. You're welcome to do what you want to do. Like I said, we're here to make recommendations because, all of this is playing out right in front of you. It's going on right in front of you. You're focused on the helmet when you should be focused on, he got this team by the kahunas. This is Antonio Brown Raiders. It's not even the Oakland Raiders. It's Antonio Browns. And so, of course, they want to keep him from, acting out on the sideline. They are the first layer of the experiment, first layer of the marriage. They ain't even got off the honeymoon yet. So, of course, they're going to give Antonio Brown the ball. He might get 14 targets first game. First game out might be a 14 target outing. Man, they getting ready to feed him the ball, folks. Don't fade him over here, man. And they got to keep him happy. And on top of that, it's hard to say, man. Antonio Brown, in my opinion, I'm going, everybody got their own opinion. He's a top wide receiver in the NFL. You heard him on Hard Knocks. He was talking about Julio Jones. That's what he was talking about. His speed. When he was running he's doing analytics. He's in there, man. If you look at Antonio Brown's work ethic and workout and his regimen and his protocol, dude covers all the bases. You know he knows the playbook. So, that's about it on Antonio Brown. But look, don't make this harder than what it is. Don't make it harder than what it is. Keep it simple. Now let's just move on to Chiefs backfield right quick. Just want to touch on the Chiefs backfield briefly. And first off, when you're looking at this from a GM eyes, or Andy Reid's pretty much brilliant. Kareem Hunt kind of saved him for the simple fact that the way Andy Reid is running this backfield, they will never have a Zeke moment. This holdout Zeke is doing, holdout Melvin Gordon is doing, Le'Veon Bell holding out for the with the franchise tag, refusing. Now I kind of understand Le'Veon Bell. They were just beating him up. They were going to beat him up and then trade him, or not sign him back that following year. So in other words, he was going to come in with another 300 or 400 or so touches, which, as you know, I have heard doctors say 350 so touches is like 350 so many car crashes. So you can kind of understand why Bell took the avenue that he took. Bell said, whoa, you're not just going to beat me up and then just discard me. And I get to Zeke's contract, and I get to the contract holdouts in a minute. That's, I had that planned for later on in the show, and I'll touch on that. But if you look at the Chiefs backfield, what Andy Reid is doing is brilliant for the simple fact that I haven't really researched this. I'm just kind of guessing here. You would estimate the whole backfield, not just one player, the whole backfield of the Kansas City Chiefs, pretty much under $8 million. And I don't know, $8 million could be generous once they cut Carlos Hyde. So in other words, they're not paying running backs. And Kareem Hunt kind of was a blessing to him in that aspect. Let's just take a look. You got Carlos Hyde, 6 feet, 229. He comes out of Ohio State. You got Darrell Williams, 5'11", 224. Out of LSU, you got Damian Williams, 5'11", 224. Same height, weight as Darrell Williams. 5'11", 224, coming out of Oklahoma. Then you got Darwin Thompson, the rookie, 5'8", 200, coming out of Utah. So what does that scream? What's the first thing that you hear when you're looking at the folks that, okay, let's take Carlos Hyde out the equation? What makes him the odd man out? Like I was saying on my last podcast, is the speed. You got to have speed to be a Kansas City Chief, skill position, period. So when they turn around and let's say if they bring somebody in, you see somebody on the roster that doesn't have the speed, you can just might as well fade them. The offense is going to spit them out. It's not them. The offense is going to spit them out for the simple fact Andy Reid is looking for. They're looking for speed in Kansas City. Carlos Hyde doesn't possess the speed that they're looking for. Now, when you look at the aspect now, you kind of, I'm seeing a lot of Darwin Thompson on social media, and they love him. Okay, all right, I get it. But then you kind of follow up and you kind of see how they were giving him first team reps at the goal line. Okay, that's more of them getting a complete, overview before they label him. He's 200 pounds, and when you look at him on tape, he runs a lot bigger. Alonzo runs a lot stronger than 200 pounds would suggest, and which brings us to the new NFL. Players are getting smaller and faster. So so why not running back? Get a little bit smaller and faster. Now, 200 pounds, can he have that trait? None of the running backs, except for Darrell Williams, has the trait of being an every down back. Well, a proven trait of being an every down back. Uh, Darwin hasn't done it at the NFL level. Uh, even Darrell hasn't done it at the NFL level, but him being, that 5'11", 224, and Damian Williams is, like I said, 5'11", 224. So maybe he could do it. They're paying him cheap. It's cheap labor going on in Kansas City right now. So let's just back up for a minute and go back to Spencer Ware, where it all kind of started for Andy Reid. Not really, but Jamal Charles, and then after that they kind of searching. They went into this search. It was supposed to be Spencer Ware. All right, let's just call it what it is. Spencer Ware got hurt. That's when Kareem Hunt jumped up as a rookie, took off. Now, Kareem Hunt showed balance. He could catch. Pass pro was getting better, but his pass pro wasn't up to NFL standards. And he could run in between the tackles. Now, he was a little bit slower than what they wanted, but he possesses those other skills at a high level, and on the simple fact that he was cheap labor, he might would have got a second contract. I'm talking about a decent, maybe a Devonta Freeman type contract from Andy Reid. Now, and he just kind of failed. Excuse me. He just kind of failed to them, and he had to play for the simple fact that Spencer Ware went down. When they were making their plans during the offseason, the plan was Spencer Ware's team, and then kind of mix in Kareem Hunt here and there. Let him get acclimated. Let's bring him along a little bit slower. Kind of what they're doing with Darren Thompson. So Darren Thompson is taking the Kareem Hunt route. Now, if they cut Carlos Hyde, Damian Williams goes down, then it's him and Darrell Williams in the committee. Now, will he overtake Darrell Williams? I don't know. That's a huge question. I don't think so. I'm thinking, his 200 pounds already screams scat back. But we're not going to label him that yet. They haven't labeled him yet. So let's just kind of sit back and let the information come to us a little bit more before I jump to a conclusion. But as you can see, Dynasty, let me just get to the fantasy implications, okay? I know that's what you want. You want the fantasy implications of the backfield. Fantasy implications is they're not paying big money for a guy. They're just going to keep recycling. They won't have a Zeke moment. It's not happening. So you've been warned. Dynasty. Damon Williams, keep him. He's on the contract till, I would say, about, I think it's 220, 221. He's on the contract. Maybe keep him this year, next year, boom, slightly move off him. Then next man up. Now, next year, will they bring in a bigger back that will kind of keep Darwin Thompson in that DeAnthony Thomas type, Mecole Hardman type niche? Because Andy Reid will substitute you. Andy Reid will move you around. Andy Reid is looking at Darwin Thompson like, I might could, because they've been trying to do this since DeAnthony Thomas. They've always been looking to trying to get this running back as what I call a multi-back, first down scout. What's up? Give him credit. That was his term. The multi-back, that's what they're looking for, that multi-back type of running back. They're not really looking for a running back. They're looking for a wide receiver as well with speed. That's what Andy Reid wants. That's what the Kansas City Chiefs want. So kind of watch yourself going forward with these backs in Kansas City. They can be easily replaced because they're not looking for a first round pick guy. They're not looking for a second round pick type pedigree to come in there, and then you're gonna have to pay them sooner or later. They're looking for that third and fourth round pick back. That's what Kansas City wants. Contract come up. All right. You want to do a Zeke moment? All right, go ahead, be my guest. So, kind of look at that as a revolving door in Kansas City. That's the new backfield, and But Damian Williams, grab him. Now, moving on to your rookie drafts. And we've been preaching this and time again, especially at this point when you kind of look back in time, you kind of look in the rearview mirror and kind of look at what you was doing, and you kind of see Josh Jacobs coming off the board first, and then Keneal Harry, or the Harry guy, the Harry kid coming off the board immediate second before your Miles Sanders, and before your David Montgomery, and before your Devin Singletaries, and things of that nature. And we can see it again. It's evident in front of us again. The golden rule: your 1.1, your 1.2, your 1.3, your 1.4, and your 1.5, and your rookie drafts should. Now, of course, there's always, an outlier to the rule, but you should be looking for a running back first. Then, kind of look at your wide receivers. You got some wide receivers that'll come in and do their thing, and be worth, like your AJ Green when he came in and your Julio Jones came in. They would just had that skill set that the 1.1 you just had to do that 1.1 and the 1.2. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes these guys just come in that are just blue chip, like Barkley when he came in. He was just so much of a blue chip. He was just so much better than his competition that you just got to do it. And if they don't have that, if that class doesn't have that wide receiver like this one, they didn't have that guy that was just like, I'm that dude. If they don't have that, forget a running back. He's going to come in, produce a little quicker, and then you can always circle back around, scoop up that wide receiver that you really thinking about doing, like Keneal Harry. The injury hurts him, but not only that, like I was doing on my other podcast, we knew. Well, we did. We recommended it. We told you. We knew what was getting ready to happen with a rookie with Tom Brady. You sitting there looking at a situation, and you know what's coming down the pipe. Tom Brady has told you time and time and time and time again. If you're not where I want you to be, you are not getting the ball. I don't know how hard that is. You can sit there and make him out to be a supermetric freak all you want. Tom Brady has already told you, if you are not where I want you to be, no ball for you. And that's been stated over and over and over, and I'm looking for my football. That's been stated over and over and over and over again. It's just like, can we grasp this with the Tom Brady system? With the Aaron Rodgers system? He will fade you. Tom Brady will fade you. I don't care if you're a first round pick. They got Jacoby Myers out there ripping it up. But has he done it with Brady yet? When you looked at the tape, this last third preseason game, the dress rehearsal with Brady on the field, he was supposed to run a corner. He was supposed to run a corner route. He came in. Up. Brady was seeing corner. They weren't on the same page. He wasn't where he wanted to be. Brady tried him. All right, let's see if you make your break. Of course, Brady throws with anticipation. That's what the offense is built around anticipation. Brady and Edelman and Josh Gordon and whoever else, James White, those are the ones that's going to catch the passes. When they are set up at the line of scrimmage, they are quarterbacks. They got a pre-snap read just like Brady. But at the end of the day, they got to see the same thing Brady sees. That's New England's offense. That's why it's so good. Because they're not what I want to say. It's not so cut and dry. And then the playbook is like Chinese math on top of that. So Keneal Harry was facing an uphill battle as soon as he got off the plane in New England. You should have known that. You should have known that. But we did. Go ahead and get your Miles Sanders, get your David Montgomery, then swing back after you're frustrated. All right, let me get Keneal Harry next year for a late first, after the new shiny toys come out next year. That's how this is done, man. It's not hard. The teams tell you how they operate. They tell you, but you got to listen with your eyes. They tell you what they're doing right in front of you, man. You know, it don't take numbers and all this and that to come to the conclusion. They're telling you this is how we operate. This is how we do things here in Houston. This is how we do things here in Dallas. This is how we do things here in the powerhouse New England Patriots. That's how we do business. It'll be that way next year if Tom Brady's there. That's how they do business, man. Pay attention. They're telling you. You know, so don't sit down and come in and try to push the player. I see this so many times, folks. You're pushing players, and the system and the players telling you, no, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. Get those lights off me. I'm not ready. But you're pushing them like Rashad Penny. I sat down like, oh, here we go again. Pushing him into the spotlight. Making him a stud. He's like, no, not yet. I'm not ready yet. But, you know, we get into our emotions and we push them out there. Now, you know, when you're really looking at this wide receiver class, the guy that's got to play, from what I've seen now, I'm talking about a guy who's got to play. That's JJ, Arthega, Whiteside. Dude's got to play. That's about the only one I can say is official to. Now, let's see. Looking at your rookie draft again. Take Josh Jacobs, number 1. He's official. It's official. You took Josh Jacobs as your 1-on-1. All right, you like, yeah, I'm good. Which is what you're supposed to be. Then your number 2 was your Keneal Harry. So you're not feeling so warm and fuzzy about that right now. Now you're sitting there like, God dog, I should have took David Montgomery. It's official. It's official. It's happening. That's happening. It's not a dream. It's not a fantasy. You are playing fantasy. You are playing real football. You're not playing fantasy. Fantasy meaning something in your mind that'll never happen. It's a fantasy. Don't play fantasy football. Don't play football. Don't play fantasy football. Then you got Miles Sanders, or you can flip those two however you want to do it. Don't matter. They're both official. Now, I told you my reasons on last podcast why I took Miles Sanders. I won't do it here. Over David Montgomery. Then you come down to that number 4 guy. I mean, who would that be? Are you taking Keneal Harry now? Or are you taking Paris? You're taking DK Metcalf now? You're taking Debo Samuels? You're taking Miko? Are you taking A.J. Brown? Are you taking Andy Isabella? I'm talking wide receivers, I'm talking about guys who catch the ball. Are we taking T.J. Hawkinson now? I'm talking about today, if you're doing a draft today, as opposed to then. Are you taking Noah Fant? Who's giving you the warm and fuzzy now? None of those wide receivers are really giving you that warm and fuzzy. So is it Devin Singletary? It's official. I can give them the Typhoon stamp of approval for these guys. Josh Jacobs, approved. David Montgomery, approved. Miles Sanders, approved. Devin Singletary, approved. Tony Pollard, approved, but he's just sitting behind the perennial all Pro Bowler, and Ezekiel Elliott. That's all his problem is. Dude got patience, man. Dude got vision. He's a little smaller than what I really want, but like I said, you look 215 to like 228 is where that sweet spot is for your running backs. That's where you really want your running back. That's not me. I'm talking NFL. I'm talking about real. I'm not talking about fantasy. I'm talking about for real. But Tony Pollard's coming in, what, about 211, 208. It's kind of coming down. He looks good. I know he played against the second team and all this and that, but so basically, then you look at even Darwin Thompson and Darrell Henderson, even look a little better than some of those wide receivers now that you took in your top 10. Me myself, I'm gonna tell you who nobody's talking about: Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown going to rip this up, and I'll tell you in a minute. Now, I'll tell you here when you get into your nuggets on, since we're touching on your rookie draft, since we get into your nuggets on your rookie drafts. How can I say this? When you're looking at your rookie drafts, you're taking a single person and you're doing your research on a single person, right? But the finished product is he's got to be married first. Married meaning, a new team, a new NFL team. And kind of like when you get married, you're into your spouse, you're into your fiance, right? You're looking at your fiance individually. You fall in love. They make you laugh. They treat you right. They say the right things to you. They encourage you, help you be your best self, which is the reason why you like that person individually. And at the end of the day, you're going to be with that person individually. But, you got the flip side of it too. Then you not only are you evaluating that, even though that makes part of the most sense, at the end of the day, you got to come in and meet the parents. Now you got to see if you get along with the parents, and you can still make it work if you don't get along with the parents. But I'm just saying, now that singular evaluation now becomes, now you got to look at the parents and you got to look at the siblings. You got 2-3 years in or whatever, you get invited to the family reunion. That's when you get to meet the drunk uncle and da-da-da. That's when you get to meet all the family and all that entails with that singular person that makes you happy. And all that comes with it. So when you're at the combine, you're just doing a single evaluation on a single person. Then before they get married, and then the rest of the team comes with your player. I don't know if folks really realize that. You realize it, but you're not really, putting stock in it. You're kind of looking at the 40 time and the shuttle and that, and then get him. But you forgot. Hold on. That's a family that comes along. He's getting ready to go into a family. And if the GM is not running the team right, the head coach is not coaching him right, the offensive coordinator is not nurturing him and helping him grow and looking at his strengths and envisioning him as his best self and encouraging him and putting him into the right position to succeed, you end up with, what I want to say, Corey Davis. Guy is phenomenal. Has phenomenal traits. He just married into the worst situation possible. Then here comes A.J. Brown right behind him, and then you do it again. I'm waiting. Corey Davis still hadn't panned out. Not what you wanted. Come on now, you drafted him that high. You know you're disappointed. You still waiting. Yeah, he gonna be all right. Yeah, okay. You keep waiting. What's changed? They keep going through offensive coordinators. You know, every 5 minutes, they got a new coordinator in the house. Every 5 minutes, they got a new head coach in the house. Now, they are a little bit stable now. Vrabel's in that now. It's a little bit stable. But, man, that's a run game. You got a quarterback. Okay. You got A.J. Brown. You got Taywan Taylor. You got Delaney Walker. You got Adam Humphries and Corey Davis. And Mariota can't even get one player to 800 yards. And now he's supposed to get A.J. Brown and Corey Davis and Delaney Walker. I mean, it's got to make sense, man. You can't have Marcus Mariota as an up-and-coming top quarterback. Okay, hold on. You can't have Corey Davis, Delaney Walker, and A.J. Brown and Humphries as top wide receivers, but you have Marcus Mariota, 28 in quarterbacks. That don't fit. It don't rub. You know, look at Mike Thomas. 40 time and all that stuff, man. What, a 4.6. Oh, my God, he's slow. He went to a good head coach. Who is the offensive coordinator? Same as Antonio Brown. When you got a good coach who's an offensive coordinator, insane pie, then you come in and he looks at you, oh, snap, he can do this, he can do that, he can do this, he can do that. Okay, breathe, you see what he can do? Then you marry that off with a good quarterback. Derek Carr is like, okay. Derek Carr can do the deep ball. Derek Carr can do everything AB needs him to do. I promise you. So then you look at the organization that Mike Thomas, who was, when you evaluated him single, oh, no, I'm not touching that. Yeah. You threw up on it. Now look at him. Top paid wide receiver in the NFL, which is a lie. He's not the top paid He's not the top paid wide receiver in the NFL. For the simple fact, it's guaranteed money. I think Odell Beckham has the most guaranteed money. Do your research. It's the guaranteed money is the top player in the NFL. Look at Julio Jones. Julio Jones went through his guaranteed money. Now he's on the back end of his deal. Julio Jones already earned his money. Why do you think he's not in an uproar and in a, all mad over his contract situation because they sat him down? Bruh, we paid you already. We might pay you again, but you've been paid already. You're at the back end of your deal. Your contract, you've already been through your guaranteed money. That's how it works, man. You got to learn this stuff, man. You got to learn real. You don't have to. You do what you need to do. I'm just making recommendations. But help your analysts when you're looking at these contracts, man. You look at the air in them. And although it sounds good, Michael Thomas's contract, but he's not the highest paid player in the NFL. A lot of that money is air. He'll be whining again soon. Watch. Give him 2 years. He'll be whining. After the guaranteed's gone, because that's what it's all about in the NFL. It's all about the guaranteed money, baby. Simple and plain. Now, you see what I'm saying? You look at Michael Thomas. He came in, everybody threw up on him, but he got with Breeze. They revamped the offensive line. They went and got the Marcus Lattimore on defense. They got the defense beefed up through free agency. Then what they do? Boom, went and added Alvin Kamara in the backfield. So now it's a group of weapons to help him to continue to succeed. You don't see that happening around Corey Davis. They're bringing in another wide receiver to take his job. They're not building around him, helping him, making him better, giving him coaching. Come on, man. You see it? You see what I'm talking about? I'm just trying to bring these things. You might just want to call me GE. I bring good things to light. You know? So it's these organizations, man. So next time when you're at the combine, oohing and ahhing, just remember that's just 25% of the puzzle, because you got to wait and see who they marry. That's going to tell you the full pie of the puzzle. Now you get in any kind of your job is, when you turn in, well, his 40 time is good, his short shoulder and his college dominator was good. When you turn in your report, somebody should write unfinished and hand it back to you. That's incomplete. It's not finished. You didn't finish it. It's not enough. You got to, I suggest or recommend that, you kind of do it a little bit more. Let's just go through some of these wide receivers above that we talked about. What's your guy? Well, Isabella. He's over there with the Cardinals. How that look? He can't even get on the field. And he can't. Come on now. Look what he married. Look what kind of organization he married. O-line is the shambles. They just drafted a quarterback #1 last year. Dumped him, and they had a new head coach, Steve Wilkes, last year. They just did this last year. They rebooted. Oh, now they're rebooting again. And you drafted into that. And you saying, ooh, Andy Isabella ready to blow up. He can't even get on the field. Look what he married. A.J. Brown, look what he married. Paris Campbell. Well, it's over. I can't say it's over, but that Andrew Luck news, I'll get to Andrew Luck in a minute. But, that Andrew Luck news, man, sometimes, man, things happen, man. It just happen. N'Keal Harry, Tom Brady's about to roll out the door. It's a good organization, though. It's a good organization. They'll get you the ball. Only one I can really see, what? T.J. Hawkinson, Noah Fant. T.J. Hawkinson ain't. It's official. Mecole Hardman. I'm like that. I want to say it, but I can't. I want to. I can't give it to him. But out of all those guys, I'll take him for what he married. I'll take him. He married good. What they say, he married up. You know what I mean? So, just kind of don't just do the 40 times and the short shuttles and the college dominator and then turn in your paper, turn in your results. Kind of add a little bit more to your answers. I'm suggesting, I'm trying to help you. We're all trying to get better at this. Things I need to do too as well, absolutely. Nobody's a never finished product, so I'm not just trying to, please, don't hurt me. I'm trying to help. Let's see. Look at these holdouts. You got Trent Williams, you got Clowney, you got Melvin Gordon, you got my man. I'm a Cowboys fan. You got Zeke. Trent Williams, I have no idea what's happening there. I mean, he's, from reports, he's just mad at the organization as far as over injury wise. So they're going to have to send somebody from the organization, that maybe a friend that they got to go talk to him. It's mental. His is mental. He's fed up. That's the reports I hear. Pretty much when you're fed up, you're done. It's kind of like, let's say if your spouse cheated on you. I mean, yeah. Should I take them back? You got a decision to make, but you're not ready to make it. You're upset right now. You got bad advice on some injuries, and you can't trust them. Trust is broke. I don't know. That's totally different. Clowney is totally different from everybody else for the simple fact that he is in, um, he's under the tag. He can do what he wants. He doesn't have a contract. You know what I'm saying? Right now, he is a free agent. He just can't sign nowhere else. You see what I'm saying? But basically, he is a free agent. He just can't talk to nobody on the market and really do what he wants to do for the simple fact that the tag is in front of him. So let's say if I'm the Dallas Cowboys and I'm looking at Clowney and I'm on the phone with Bill O'Brien. Well, okay, before I make the call to Bill O'Brien to even see if he's available or what they want in compensation for him, I have to look at Clowney. Like, let's say if I do bring him in the building, will he sign with me next year? So whatever conversation I'm about to hand over to the Texans, it could be a 1-year deal. He could come in with me, sign the tag, play 1 year, and then I got to tag him again, or we're in the middle of negotiations. Basically, we're in the same spot all over again next year. So, in other words, do I want the headache? What is that headache worth to me? Is it worth it? So that's what the Cowboys would have to come to terms with, put a monetary value on it as far as draft pick, and then offer it. If we want to go through that headache. Kind of like what the Raiders did. Raiders looked at Antonio Brown. They weighed the options. Let's see, Khalil Mack went out the door. Mari Cooper went out the door. I mean, what you got? You got money now. So they weighed options, okay? AB, he's a headache, but that dude can play. Get him. We'll deal with that. That's the decision they made. We'll deal with the helmet. We'll deal with the jacked up feet. We'll deal with it. Because we're going to give them the ball. They sat down and had that conversation before he came in the building. Now, it might have been a little bit more than what they really anticipated. Because, of course, Tomlin and Pittsburgh kept a lot of things low key that you really didn't hear about, like Zeke. Jerry Jones has kept a lot of his crap from bubbling up to the surface. So there's a lot with Zeke, immaturity, that we have no clue about. I would love to see his files, but Jerry Jones, being the guy who he is, now I don't usually roll with the owners, but in this situation, Jerry Jones has covered Zeke. He's covered him. I promise you. He had his cleaners out there cleaning up a lot of crap for Zeke. But looking at Clowney, so will Clowney be traded? Mike Lombardi is saying he should be traded within 24 to 48 hours. And this was Friday. No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday night? I don't know. It was just recently. 48 hours is really on the cusp of being expired. I don't know. I need to check the news. He should be traded by now. I don't know. But I wouldn't. Why? You're going to have to let him go or something sooner or later anyway. So why should I give up a GM is thinking, why should I give up a pick unless there is such a deficiency on my defensive line that it's worth it? Then and then we'll deal with him later. I might give you a fourth, conditional, third. I don't know. Depends on what I need. Now, Melvin Gordon hold out. Let's get the Zeke sold out first, not finish with Melvin Gordon. Zeke sold out. Look. Rumor is, Ed Werder or whatever, rumor is there's a deal right now in front of Zeke. I'm not even going to get into Zeke comments. But there's a deal on the table right now for Zeke for, what I want to say, making him the second highest paid running back in the NFL. Zeke, you better take that all day, every day. Your agent should have told you to take that all day, every day. Just get on in the building, get it done. Jerry's already been on your teammate. You already making guaranteed money now as it is because you came in at like at a fourth pick in the NFL draft. He was the 1.4. So he's already been paid and his money is guaranteed. Now, if Jared wants to really, and if Jared was really wanted to put pressure on him, Jared would rescind that offer, make him play under his contract this year, sit back, make him play under his contract in 2020, sit back, franchise him 2021, sit back, franchise him 2022. Who got the leverage? Who got the leverage, ladies and gentlemen? Who has the leverage? The Cowboys. But Jared Jones and Zeke's connections, Jared looks at Zeke like a kid. He's always been criticized for this, but it's something, I guess it's something good that Jared does, but he's always been criticized for the simple fact that his players are kids to him. You know, he really likes his players. He's been too bad for Zeke, but I think that Zeke who comments and his retaliation, I think that kind of I think that pissed Jerry off. So Zeke is the one that's going to, if Zeke is holding out for money, he's about to lose money. He's already lost money in training camp. But, you know, they'll waive those. He's getting fined every day he's not there. But they'll waive that. In other words, Zeke will be there for game checks. If he has a number 2 deal on the table right now, he's already under contract for the next 2 years. And if the contract is going to give him a bump now rather than later, why not sign it? And then in the next 2 years, when your contract was up in the first place, now you're actually able to hit the open market. Now you got the leverage. Simple, man. Just take your money now, come on in and play. It's simple. That's a simple deal. That's simple in my opinion. If you hold out to the regular season, which I highly doubt, if he holds out to the regular season, then Tony Pollard gonna come in. What we play first? The Giants first. Then a couple of you can really lose leverage. I mean, you don't have leverage now in the first place. But Jerry being the, loving his players. I'm rambling now. Let me get out of here. Loving his players, paid him, offered him a contract on the table, kind of like Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon has a contract on the table. Now, Melvin Gordon is a little bit different than Zeke's. For the simple fact, Melvin Gordon now is coming into his 5th-year option. So Melvin Gordon now is trying to really get a contract so he won't hit free agency, so he won't have the franchise tag next year. So he's trying to avoid the tag. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to avoid the tag. But, then you on the second hand, you look at Melvin Gordon. Is he that dude? Zeke's that dude. It's a difference. That's why some want more money than others. Melvin Gordon is thinking he's that dude when you're not that dude. So I see that as a holdout. I see that going into the season. If he's serious, the threats that he's making and that this can go into the season, because they're not paying you. I could easily see Melvin Gordon's going to week 10 when we hear a report. I could easily see that happening. Because Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson, once they start playing, they'll forget all about him. But Andrew Luck. Let's get to Andrew Luck, man. Wow. We're finished on Andrew Luck. We'll close with Andrew Luck. Almost to an hour now. Wow. Andrew Luck, my dog. He's gone, bruh. Andrew Luck is gone, bruh. He out. Wow. Andrew Luck is gone. There's no more Andrew Luck in fantasy football, man. Wait a minute. Let that sink in for a second. Andrew Luck is no more in your fantasy football. When you look to set your lineup, you can't click on Andrew Luck. Oh, man. But you know, me myself, I don't like to hear another person's, a third party's interpretation of what was said. I like to listen myself. That's why I listen to all the offensive coordinators and the head coaches and the GMs as much as I can over anything else. I like to I hear them talk. What are you thinking? The offensive coordinator, what are you thinking? You know, what's your thoughts? What's on your mind? That's what I want to know. That's what we here at Fantasy Football 101 want to know. What you thinking about? What are you thinking? And listening to it, I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Listening to it, I don't hear a guy who's done with football. I just didn't hear done with football. I didn't hear it. I heard more of, I got a rehab. I had to rehab my shoulder. I had to rehab my spleen. I had to rehab. Now this ankle. If it had healed 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't be retiring. That's what I heard. So, he just got married, so that's kind of want to spend time with my chick. Want to give us some time. That's gonna fade. That's gonna fade. You know how it is. You know how it is when you're on the honeymoon and everything lovey-dovey, and pretty soon you're like, you know what I mean? Yeah. You still love them, but you like, get back for a minute. Yeah, of course, that's gonna happen. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You still love them to death, but all right. The newness is worn off. Now this is what I got to deal with now. Now it's real. Once that la 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 rubs off, Andrew Luck is gonna be like, oh snap. I got to get out and do something, which he can do anything he wants. But if he loves football, what's his first choice? I can't see that. I can't see that. I didn't see that as a retirement party. I saw that as I'm injured. I'm just tired of y'all asking me about my rehab retirement. That's what I heard. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just telling you what I heard. That's why I listen to it myself. I come to my own conclusion. And if I'm wrong on my own. I don't mind being wrong on my own. Now, fantasy. Man, around week, right before the playoffs, I'm picking Luck up. In other words, I want Luck when the roster's locked for the off season. I want him on my roster. Put it that way. Whether he comes back or not, we'll let all that happen. But I want him on my roster when roster's locked in Dynasty. Now, if you're in redraft, you don't have to worry about it. Just don't draft him. Or if you draft him, go ahead and drop him. He's not playing this year. That's already confirmed. But if you're in Dynasty, yeah. Before the end of the year, before it locks, before your roster's locked and you can't add or trade, or you can't, well, not trade, or you can't pick up any more players until after the Super Bowl, yeah, he'll be on my team during that period. I have Andrew Luck. It didn't sound like a man who is done with football. It just sounded like I just got married. Let me do wifey. And look, this doggone leg, man, didn't heal the way I wanted it to, as fast as I wanted it to. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. Let me back up. That's what I heard. All right, I'm just gonna leave it to you like that, man. You know how I do. I try to give it to you 100% the way I see it. Could be totally wrong, but man, that is what I saw. I'll stand by that. I did want to kind of go over some trade proposals. I may do that a little later. But as you can see, Fantasy Typhoon here, healthy, back in the game. It's good to be back. TYPHOONS TV is what I'm calling this now. It's good to be back in my element, doing fantasy again. Bringing my strong, accurate recommendations back to the masses. Again, like I said, the Fantasy Typhoon at hotmail.com. If you're looking for maybe somebody to come in and kind of help you with some articles. If you're looking for somebody to kind of write articles, you're looking for somebody to, take a platform with your fantasy company, give me a shout. Let's talk. I'm open now. I'm taking applications, if you will. Google the Bing the Fantasy Typhoon, hit enter. That's my whole page. Transferring this over to iTunes immediately. Don't just win. Dominate!